So, can we all just agree to move on to 2026? Because at this point, 2025 is after our sanity. This particular story we're reporting on today, I was really skeptical about reporting, but people got to me and were like, I want to hear you report on this issue, and so I'm here reporting on it. Let's talk about a woman who used her urine as a special ingredient, a special spice in her cooking. This is a report, and I'm your host, Enongene Doris. But before getting to the video, make sure to like and subscribe to the Next Generation Media channel so you don't get missed out on any of our subsequent videos. So there's no easy way to look into this particular story. We are seeing a situation which a woman named Victoringa, I believe, for the past 5 months had been selling okok, that is a Cameroon traditional dish, by the roadside to locals. And locals got a shocking revelation when a video surfaced of her urinating into the pot of soup that she sells to these locals. So let's start by looking into the video showing this lady in the act of urinating into the dish that she had to sell to the locals. And when they had found out about what she had done, this is how they had to react to it. It's very hard to watch. So she's now urinating into the pot. She had to even shake it off, so all of it goes down, huh? Then for the finishing touches, find her staring into, okay. So that's the video, and you can see how people had to react to it. They went to her store, that's the place where she has stationed by the road, and they broke it all down. And this because the woman apparently fled when the news got to town, and there was no way. People wanted to exact their anger, and they could not find her. You know, the Jungle Justice Committee, if they caught her, she'd be dead by now. But since they could not find her, the next possible option was her setup that she had by the road, and they brought it all down. I saw a man there practically just hitting on the wood. I'm sure he was just like, if that was a woman, he would kill her. I believe this reporter had actually bought from her, that then later found out that she was doing this, and they were heartbroken. We had a Cameroon news agency that released an article saying, just showing a woman now identified as Victorine Biko urinating in a pot of soup known as okok intended for sale went viral after the woman's phone was stolen. We were all shocked, just like everyone else. 2 young men arrived here in the afternoon around 1 p.m. with a video and showed it to us. We were horrified to see her urinating in the food she sells to us, said a customer. After the video surfaced, Victorine's infuriated clients vandalized her restaurant and threatened to lynch her. They discovered bottles of urine stored inside. This woman was keeping bottles of urine in her house. So not only was she just going directly into the pot, sometimes she would maybe urinate, keep it just so that maybe she just turns it into the pot, I guess. Continued by saying there was a container where she stored egg trays in a card box, and there was feces stored there as well. So we are looking at a case where the only video evidence is her urinating into the dish. But why would a normal human being be storing feces in their apartment if they never had plans to use it? And considering the fact that she's someone who has urinated into the pot of soup she sells to people, would it be so hard to think that she put feces in it as well? I think it's plausible. So these people might be looking at a case where they might have not only eaten her urine, but also have feces. So that's what we're looking at here, guys. So another customer said with visible disgust. Continued by saying many customers often complained of stomach aches after consuming her food, yet they were always drawn to it for some inexplicable reason. Frustrated, they await her arrest to understand the reasons behind her shocking action. So this article was released before she was arrested. That was on the 11th of February. So it continues by saying, as of the 11th of February, Victorine Biko was still on the run. She is a married woman and a mother of 6. A mother of 6. I cannot believe a mother of 6 cannot be more compassionate in this sense. She said her husband and children have barricaded themselves in their home, and their landlord is threatening to evict them. So further that this woman's actions are not only put her on the run, or did not only put her on the run because now she's in custody, but also put her 6 children and her husband to the point of they had to behave like criminals in their own apartment. Says the 26-year-old husband, a plumber, used to assist her in the restaurant but claimed he was unaware of his wife's practices there. Local residents are relieved that the woman has been exposed. The incident has raised serious concerns about food safety and hygiene standards in restaurants across the country. This is a real threat, guys, because I was talking with some of my friends the other day, and they were saying how they are afraid to get food outside of their homes, like maybe whether it's a local restaurant, classic restaurants. Everybody is just afraid of ordering food from any restaurant right now in Cameroon. Let me say in Yaoundé to be precise. Conscious by saying it is reported that her phone was stolen, and that's how the video was released. Video she personally recorded. When we watch the video, although it's a bit blurry because we cannot show the full content of it, she was the one recording this. I believe she had to send it, and people say that she was doing this for some sort of spiritual ritual, which I totally believe is plausible. But we are looking at something that is really hard to believe. And even though we have had certain like rumors of certain things like this happening where people maybe put their blood in their dishes or stuff like that they give to people, we have never really had evidence as hard as this. A woman who she herself recorded the video of her in the act, and just by some miracle, her phone was stolen. I've never been more happy that someone's phone was stolen. This is the first time I'm hearing of a phone being stolen. I'm like, yay, thank God, because now people have the truth about what she was doing. Imagine the phone was not stolen. How long should we have continued this act? How many more people should have fed this food to? We also had the CRA TV who reported on it. They went out to the streets. They took to the streets and asked the locals in the area about their interaction with this woman. And this is what they had to say.
Human cruelty to fellow humans at its superlative form. Victims say not even this statement can better qualify what they have been subject to for almost half a year now.
We did not know she used to cook and urinate or defecate in the food.
Nearly everyone around the now popular eatery in Vogada, Yaoundé, paid for these toxic foods ignorantly.
It's been 5 months of poisoning.
I used to eat there every day. A friend from Angisa showed me that video.
It is a single act that exposes an unorthodox practice in the restoration sector.
This act can only reveal that she was in search of more profits. It therefore tells you what people can do to make extra money, even at the expense of the safety of fellow Cameroonians. There is absolutely the need for moral rearmament. She used to refer to me as my mother. That's what pains me the most. I even brought holy water here to give her, and we prayed with the blood of Jesus. In fact, I am so hurt.
I think this part, when I was listening to the interviews and this particular woman's story got to me. So you find someone who is somehow using, I'm guessing, a sort of spiritual voodoo means in pushing her business forward, urinating to post food that she sells to them. But she comes to this woman and is like, my mother, being this holy saint kind of person. The woman is like, okay, we're going to pray for your business. We're going to anoint your business. And so it can go further. Like, I can imagine the deception that this person, how corny she has to be to present this holy attitude in front of everybody else, while behind the scenes she goes and urinates into the dish that she sells to people. Totally diabolic.
When the video leaked, the people went haywire on the business.
A friend from Angisa showed me that video. That's what pushed me to take a hammer and break down the place.
Sources say the presumed culprit is now under police custody. The act alone also puts a stain on other food businesses.
Since that video was released, we have been in total embarrassment. Business is no more flourishing.
Experts call for extra vigilance.
I will advise those who do not have a choice than to consume in this roadside restaurant that at least they should be sure of the hygienic conditions of the vendors. It means that when you get into a roadside restaurant, you try to find out, you watch, you look at the way the vendor washes his hands or her hands to serve you, the kind of containers where the food are being served, the kind of water that they use to wash the utensils.
The law also...
Now, Her advice is a valid advice. Like when you're buying food out of your house, because I too have had situations where I had to get food out of my home when maybe I was not chance to cook that day. You should consider the sanitary aspects of the area you're buying, but that is not the case here. Okay, because you can have somebody, nobody has said explicitly that she was maybe unsanitary. It's just now the cleanliness of her heart is not more about the physical. It's like her spiritual intent when doing that. So I don't think there's any way. That's why people are actually running from every restaurant, even the classic restaurants themselves, because there's no way to actually tell if this person has the same intention as that woman. So the advice of, okay, consider sanitation when you're buying food outside, yeah, do take that. But in a nutshell, we cannot tell, nobody could tell that this woman maybe had such intentions. You cannot be different from the environment. That's something you cannot tell just by the way people wash their hands when they serve you. It goes down to their heart, their intents internally. So yeah, even though the advice makes sense, it doesn't really apply to the situation.
So needs to be tightened in cases as such.
Il y a un besoin impératif de réarmement moral, de retour aux valeurs d'amour.
The story sends pangs of fear down the spines of adepts of roadside eateries, and many are wondering how else they can be safe, if not by preparing themselves what to eat. But for how long?
That's the question we're all asking ourselves. But for how long are we going to be afraid to eat out? And I guess it's the point when everybody will start wanting to learn how to cook. Okay, there'll be more cookery books are going to go really get really popular at this point in time, I believe. So one thing I'm going to say about the video after watching the video is the woman was actually quite smart. If you know okok, just if you have watched the video, the way it looks like, you cannot really tell if they add urine to that dish. It's a very popular dish, especially in Yaoundé. People love it. People are crazy about it. So she chose a dish that people are crazy about. One, a dish that is not really suspicious. If you add maybe urine or feces to it, you cannot really tell the difference. So that was a good camouflage. Props to her. Dubiously, props to her. But again, that's why we cannot really tell. There's no guarantee when you're buying food from somebody else that they cannot be doing this. But I guess people are going to have a fear of okok for a while. Me included. I'm not going to be one to eating okok for a while. The fear is there, and we should all just be vigilant, spiritually, I'll say, more than physically. So we had this page on Facebook, the CH Page News. They reported on the issue, and people commented, people left their comments. I'd like us to look at some of the comments that people had when they watched this video and what they had to say about it. Let's look. This comment said, "This is a personal reason why I don't buy food where there's always crowded and everyone is rushing to buy food. By God's grace, I always pray for God to lead me to a place where I can be safe eating from them. Therefore, if you see me buying food from low-class vendors, it's not because I can't afford the expensive ones, but I walk with wisdom that protect me against the evil of this world." And I can get the issue of the wisdom when people say, don't go to a place where you find people crowded, which does make sense because when you're reading about it, they say those who bought from her, they had running stomach, but they could not explain why they kept going back. So it's not really about a population. It's like an unexplicable population. That's what we should be looking out for, not population-wise, because there are places where actually the cook is good, maybe their business goes well, maybe the chef there does a good job, but that's when we should ask ourselves, does it make sense? Does it add up? We're looking at a case where people went to go and eat from this woman, they will have stomach issues, they will have health problems, but they will come back. That is the inexplicable case. These are cases where we can actually put a suspicion on. If you want to actually be vigilant, not that you're going to say, oh, because this person's business is doing well, I shouldn't go there because probably they are using some kind of jazz. It might just be talent, it might just be hard work, it might just be that they are good at what they do. But when we look at a case where there's an inexplicable population following a particular area that you don't understand why at Boyer, it doesn't look to give that sense of maybe professionality, maybe their quality. It's not giving that, but people are still coming here regardless. That inexplicable fame is what we should be actually more vigilant about. Not just fame, but inexplicable fame. I think that is the focus that we should be looking into. Somebody else commented and said, this is why I will never marry a lady who can't cook. I will never do such a mistake. The lady is indirectly telling you to start cooking from your house. This is the reason many die unknown. You chop outside without knowing who cooked the food, what they used to cook the food, etc. If your woman can't cook for you at home, leave her and go find someone that's the basic duty of a woman. I really knew that when this story will come out, they will come back to this case of find a woman who can cook so you don't have to go outside and eat and get poisoned by a random a salesperson out there. And I'll just go throw it back to guys. Like, dude, I get it. When you have a wife, she has a primary responsibility of handling the kitchen, but it doesn't stop men from having that skill of cooking. I think men should take it upon themselves at this point to have that skill. Everybody, even women at a point, are going to go outside to eat, maybe because of work stress, or they don't have the time to cook the food at that particular moment. So it's not maybe being a woman that cannot cook that is the issue, or being a man that is not married that is the issue. It's just that the time factor. But it's true, being married actually prevents you from facing certain things like this. But still, your wife can travel. What are you going to do then? At this point, everybody should buy a cookbook. That's the takeaway story from here. Despite the fact that we're going to have those times when we need to go out and get food out of the house, or just maybe to relax and not cook by ourselves, we should have that inherent desire to learn the skill of cooking. It's a necessity. Everybody needs to eat. So why does everybody not need to learn how to cook? If everybody has to eat, I think to a level, everybody should want to know how to cook. And I like the fact that there's always these people that don't take things so seriously. People that have maybe they were not affected by the entire incident. Then they have they are very laxy-free reactions to it. So somebody commented and said that was a secret ingredient that gave the taste they all enjoyed so much. I can't see people are like I get that sometimes comments can be really annoying when people are not maybe sympathizing with it, but there are always these comments that you read and you cannot just help but laugh, calling the secret ingredients, I've talked about it being like an extra spice. And it's true, because if you're saying that you ate somewhere, you had a stomach problem, you had a stomach disorder, you came back there again, had the same, and you still kept on going there, then the ingredient was whatever was making you to have the stomach disorder. In this case, we're finding out that it was urine, or maybe even feces. So, very funny comment, but totally worth it. Let's take this last comment. Someone said, by now, some people are vomiting their intestines out. And true. I can imagine everyone, the moment they found out that they had eaten from this place and they see this video of the woman urinating, your stomach will not be able. Like, some people easily get to the point of vomiting, wanting to scratch out their tongue, wanting to drink water, and maybe even drink bleach to cleanse themselves. But really, no matter how much, I'll just have to advise people that no matter how much you vomit, how much you drink water, no matter what you take in physically, you cannot get cleansed. But there is a way, though, because we are dealing with something here that is not normal. Definitely, we have to just be honest about it, that is something spiritually inclined. So the best advice I can give anybody who has been affected or has been encountered this entire situation, the food, the occurred, the woman, get yourself some spiritual cleansing, okay? I don't know what your spiritual cleansing looks like, but you might have to start thinking of getting spiritually cleansed, because all those who have taken this dish, who have eaten that, have exposed themselves, that open doors to maybe becoming easy victims for other people that are doing stuff like this in other sections, maybe selling food and doing maybe the same urine or whatever, because you should know there are others doing that. So when you're already someone who has fallen for these ones, the probability of you falling for it again is possible because you have opened the door now that the other people can use to draw you in. So spiritual cleansing at this moment is better than the vomiting, better than the water you're drinking, better than you going to go and break down the place. I know you're angry. And if I was to, I would be angry breaking down the place, but it doesn't really change much. After pouring out your anger, do try to get some spiritual cleansing. And with that said, my final intake on this issue is the fact that I want to see where this ends up. Because many times we hear that, she has been arrested. I want to hear the follow-up on what was the sentence given to her, where she ended up. Because what most of the times we hear is like, they're in custody. And that's where the story ends. We have this so many times in Cameroon. The story ends at they have taken them to custody. No, we have been affected. The population has been affected. We are traumatized. Tell us, how long is she supposed to stay in that prison? That is what can maybe give some people some rest, show some people that they are sending information to all those people who are trying to do this as well. I think I would like to hear from the authorities, where has this reached? What is the decision they have reached? And that they should take a decision fast as well, because people are freaking out. I'm freaking out myself. I want to go and eat out sometimes. But that's all for the video, guys. I would like to know how you feel about this Okok extra spice story. Leave your comments down below. But before you go, make sure to like and subscribe to the Next Generation channel so you don't miss out on any of our subsequent videos. Bye.